Our first topic is what is one of the toughest parts about being a DJ. As you go into this, gang, there's things that are tough. What is the most difficult thing, do you think, about being a DJ? Let's start off. James, I'm going to start with you. Go ahead.
Loading, unloading equipment, and setup and tear down.
Okay.
And dealing with like venues that don't have working elevators, even though the client says they do, and I have a stair fee. I charge per stair. So that's
in and out gear, hauling gear. Dave, most difficult part about being a DJ?
Probably working with all the preconceived notions that people have about DJs. That's probably the one that echoes most when talking to DJs. That's probably the most difficult one that I hear people continuously going on about.
Interesting. Mitch, toughest part about being a DJ?
It ties into one of your later topics, the exit plan.
Very, very good. Very good. That'll be something that is definitely tough. As I'm looking at it today, there's the toughest part I think about being a DJ is really to take ourselves seriously, and we'll get into that in a second. Anthony, you're going to wrap us up, and then we're going to come back and talk about each one. What do you think is the toughest part for DJs today?
Dealing with cables and people. People like to unplug cables for no reason.
Dealing with cables. Okay, there's
and
our
people.
people. There we go. We've got our first round now. As Mitch, you were talking about the exit plan being an important, being a struggle for people. Give us the 30 seconds. Why? Go.
Because they don't have a exit plan upon entering into the business.
Do you think that's an important thing for them to have when they come into the business, or is it something
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do think it's an important thing to have. You need to know what your exit plan is upon entering a business. You need to know how you're going to get out, what you're going to do. And you may not know right when you get in, right? But you need to be able to develop that as you go and think about, okay, how am I going to exit this? I certainly didn't have necessarily an exit plan. I had a vision when I started Tailored Entertainment, but necessarily have the exit plan. And now I do have the exit plan. And it's something that I think I've developed over the last 5 years, an exit plan strategy.
We'll dig into that one a little bit more as you mentioned a little bit later. So I don't want to go too far into it. James, you mentioned you have got a fee that you are now charging. How many of us would charge a fee? And I don't want to pick on you, but I've had venues that I will not play because they have only stairs.
Yeah, I said that just as a joke, but honestly, I avoid places that only have stairs. Unless I could deal with like 5 stairs, an entryway or something like that. But if I have to go up like 2 flights of stairs, not taking the gig.
Yeah. I have put a surcharge on for stairs because I had to have someone come in and help shuttle gear up and down the steps. It was just one of those things. So it cost me another $150 to have somebody come in. It was part of doing business for the night, and they understood it because the venue just didn't have it. Dave, what is yours again? I'm sorry.
Dealing with the public's preconceived notions of what.
There we go. I knew yours was the one I wanted to hit last because we're going to dig into this one. The preconceived notions. What kind of things would be a preconceived notion that the public has that? Let's go with just erroneous preconceived notions that the public would have. Anybody, throw them out.
That we work for whatever the time allotted for us to be at the venue, and that is all that we put in, and we're charging way too much money for those like 4 to 6 hours or 7 hours. They don't realize all the work that goes in before and after, and all the travel and loading equipment.
Others.
That we don't run a business.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dave, what were you?
Next.
That was.
We're like the guy that goes around mowing lawns. We just do it off the cuff.
Oh, exactly. It's just a hobby.
Ready for it?
Yeah.
Button pressers.
What?
Button
pressers.
Oh, button pressers.
Yeah, anybody can do what we do.
Yeah, somebody in the
I'm
chat.
pressing buttons. I'm pressing buttons. Oh.
And I'm pressing Mitch's buttons.
And I think there's many, and not only but there's also that when you get into talking money, that I think it's something that they look at DJs and they're like, okay, you can't have that much overhead. It's not a real job. You don't have this, you don't have that. And it should be cheaper. Just because it's not, you don't have to have a storefront.
They see, my lawyer doesn't charge that much.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
That's because our job takes more talent than a lawyer's job.
Your lawyer must suck.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
That's the route I would.
I said it out loud.
I was going to say.
No. I stand by my statement. It takes more education to become a lawyer, but more talent to do what we do.
There you go. I
think there's definitely something there. Somebody put in the chat board that, so you must love music. You would be willing to do it for free. Well, unfortunately, there are some DJs out there who are that way, but most of us also have to eat on the side, once in a while, and feed our family and put clothes on the children. But yeah, those definitely.
Well, I mean, the hobby DJs do it for free or next to nothing. We have large investments in everything, from music, legally obtained music, to equipment, to marketing, you name it, across the board.
How about a large investment in you? This is your life.
Yeah.
I can care less about don't get me wrong, the gear is important, the music is important, yes. All those tools are required to do your job. But this is a large investment in your life.
But now I'm the general public here, and you don't need education to do this. You're just pushing buttons. You're just playing music. Heck, my son has, for a balloon party we had in the backyard, he did that, and it was great. Why do you need to spend money on education? You must be wasting your money.
Well, it depends what kind of outcome you want. If you're okay with someone just showing up, pushing buttons at your event, then you can do that for certain events. If you want it to be done right and you want everyone to remember it as something that was amazing and something they've never seen before, you probably want to get someone with an education and a background to be able to help you carry that out.
I don't remember who said this. I think it might have been David Hoyt or somebody. I don't recall. I saw it on Facebook a couple of weeks ago. He said to a potential client, if you want a below average wedding, hire a below average price DJ. If you want an average wedding, hire an average price DJ. If you want an above average wedding, hire an above average price DJ.
It's real simple. It's a very expensive endeavor having a wedding. And it's one thing to hire the shade tree mechanic to work on your lawnmower, but are you going to have him working on your Ferrari?
Yeah, there is that. But the perception that is out there and so prevalent is that people just, those things just don't matter. Oh no, this is just a DJ. This is just
It's okay if those aren't my clients.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want, and nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to work with you. That's all.
And in a lot of these
Or those are the clients whose life I can maybe impact somehow.
For sure. And I think that you're getting to a great point that you're finding your type of client, which is really important. I had a conversation with a DJ earlier today, and we've had the same conversation for 4 or 5 years in a row. And he keeps coming back, and he's like, gosh, the brides are still this, and they're beating me up on price. And it's like, you said this 5 years ago. What has changed? Nothing has changed. So it's gone from it being their problem. Now it is your problem. You are the one who has not done a darn thing to change your life or your business or anything. So you are going to continue to whine for another 10 years, but then that's pretty much telling me that you're liking this kind of crap you're getting. If that's what you like, good. Then shut up and quit bothering me. Or let's talk about what you need to finally step up and change and take responsibility for your actions and reactions.
If you can't change the people, change the people.
And sometimes if you can't change yourself, you got to get the heck out and go find something else to do. I'm just saying.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we're going to do our little segue and we're going to go to the next topic.